Welcome. In this video, we discover information about large language model usage inside Google, and also information about Retrieval-Augmented Generation that can be used in order to improve the large language model creativity or generation. To start with, I will create a storage, a bucket storage. So I will just create another storage called Sonic Manuals, for example. In my case, I will show you the document that I will be using. Just put that inside the region 3, for example, in Europe. I will leave it that, no problem. Soft delete policy, maybe there, cannot force mix preferential, okay. Uniform, everything is okay. Up. In my case, it create a place where I can do a bucket. I've selected a few documents there which looks like that. So for example, here I can show you that is the Sonic 2 on the master system with the manuals, the original manuals with every language supported in Europe. So I have another version here with the Sonic 1, which is very interesting. Another version with the Sonic on the Genesis, so it's another manuals, and other information about, for example, here is this Brazilian version of the Sonic Blast on Master System. I will put every document inside a bucket. Now that it's done, everything has been uploaded. I can go into the creation of the agent builder, but firstly I want to show you something pretty interesting, which is like on Vertex AI, if you're asking on the multimodal, you can ask Gemini in order to see what you can learn from Sonic through Gemini. So in this agent, I will use Gemini Flash on. I'll try to use that from Frankfurt, for example, once again. Leave the parameter out of the box, and I will ask with Sonic. So give me some information about Sonic and also his rival and his friends. So it's Days, Knuckles, and Heroes, and Shadows. Shadow is kind of also his enemy, but we'll see later. It's pretty interesting to see that it's providing raw information, and if I wanted to have like some information about who are Dr. Robotnik relatives, if he has any members in this family, you might be able to find some information about that. So maybe he's hallucinating a bit. I can't tell, quite frankly, but normally it should provide information about his grandfather, which is described inside the manuals, and also his cousin. But anyway, that's for the basic Gemini Flash agent. In our case, we want to create what we call an agent. So with the platform agent builder, we will have the possibility to create an app. An app will have a type, so whether search, chat, recommendation, or an agent. In my case, I will use just search. I will specify the content, so generic is more about like the out of the box, and the main use case for the high accuracy for any kind of document. There is the second content type, which is like based on the media, for media platforms like really audio and video content. And the healthcare, it's obvious, it's for the health information and all the things related to that. I will leave enterprise edition features activated, even if in my case, I won't be able to really explore that in my video here. Advanced LLM features as well, so it would be just to deliver what can be really practical. I will create a Sonic app. I won't put any name here. I'll leave it at global, so I can use both region or whatever. And then I will create a data source. So a data source can be whether website content, BigQuery, a cloud storage. In our case, we cloud storage. I can even call an API, an internal API. Let's say that you have an application that is already has a lot of content, and you want to deliver a search experience on top of your API, then it can be really used to call any of those API. I will use Google Cloud Storage. I will just use the Sonic models that I've created there. I leave that by default, so it says that inside my bucket I have like instructor documents. So in my case it's PDF files that are whether passed or not, it may be only images inside this PDF file, so it will get through, but it's mainly not structured documents or structured data that I can find inside those documents. So leave that there. I will create a data store called Sonic, and I will precise there that it's digital parser, or I can use OCR parser in order to retrieve more information about the image recognition. I will use this one in my case. Once I've created create, it will create the data store that is connected to no app. So right now I have to click to select it and create my app, finally relying on this data store. Then I will have like my application that is created, the data that I'm using, and in the activity I can see that there is an import documents operation that is going on. So right now it just started. After a few minutes it's getting through the document, it will extract and index the information, and it will retrieve the information. I've already done that, so I can just show you what is the result of that. So here I have the same application, and if I'm looking in data, I will find the index result for that. So importing documents, 10 documents without any errors. It took like 10 minutes or something like that, and those 10 documents were recognized already, and the information were extracted directly from using the interface. So since I already prepared that on the other application, so I don't have to wait a few minutes. I know that you have the indexing of the information inside that. I can show you directly what will happen after I click create the actual agent. I will directly have like a working application that do search. So if I'm asking with Sonic, for example, it will generate the default configured answers and point me to what is really interesting with the number is it generated like an interesting information. So Sonic information, the place where he lives, and the emeralds, this kind of thing. One in the adventure, and the gameplay related information. For example, here I have some information about Dr. Robotnik, which is pointing to the 2 and 5 documents. So the 2 is this document, and you can see that it's linking to page 3. So if I'm clicking there, I already have the full document, and it will put me at the page 3. So page 3 of the PDF file, so it's page 4 and page 5 of the manual, and we can find some information about Dr. Robotnik, so with the mad scientist and this kind of thing. So it used directly the content of the manuals to provide with the more precise information, so it can be used for many other use cases, but in my case I wanted to create something related to the video games. What is also interesting here is I have the basic configuration for this agent. I can get further. In my case, I want to add the capability to have follow-up question. I will see in a few seconds what it is, but basically it's a way. I'll show you now with Sonic, for example, and when he will retrieve information about Sonic. It will give us the possibility to have what we call ask a follow-up. So I can ask, for example, here, who is his best friend? it will retrieve tails or knuckles depending on the content of the manual. It's lower in preview part. Yeah, it's a my tails prower, and it's linking to the page one, the result one. And if I'm clicking on that, I will go to the page 6 of the another. Oh no, it's the same one. Not, it's another one. And here, page 6, we should find information about tails or things like that. I don't find it. Maybe it's later. I don't know. I know tails. Yeah, it's here. Two-tailed fox, which is one of the closest friends. Okay, so pretty interesting thing to find is ask a follow-up, so you can have like really digging more into the details. Also, what is interesting here is the capability to have the summarization made by other large language model. So it was using by default Gemini 1.0 Pro 2. We can use the Flash one, the 1.8 Flash one, or the 1.5 Pro to have more details and more capabilities. So I can do that, and also I can provide customization for the summary. So I can say you should provide an answer, or the answer should not be longer than 200 characters and be focused to deliver information for a video game specialist. Just using that, I can leave the other part that way, and I will save and publish if I wanted to push for the main thing. So if I'm saving the content, every of my application using that can be updated in real time. So just if I'm going back to who is Sonic, now the generating content will be provided by the large language in version 1.5. It will respect what I've asked, which is like the description should not be longer than 200 characters, and it's giving me some hints, and I can ask a follow-up like who is Tails, now that I know that you can get through a follow-up question. Yeah, so it's how it's done. You can have like a search experience where you're relying on your document, and it can be any document that you can use. Also, what is of course interesting here with Google, it's you have the capability to integrate into to integrate that with your own application, whether it's a web application where you can just use this code to integrate that inside your website, and you will have like the preview experience with the search box and the results and kind of thing. Or you can call it by API, and it will give you the full information here with the curl request, this URL request that you can use, and you can customize. So for example, if I'm typing with Sonic, I will have like the generated call that I can do inside my application, and of course I can run it in Cloud Shell. So that's it for the integration and for the configuration, which is quite easy to do. Of course, you can also dig into the more advanced for the search tuning, and also the advanced usage of that, and the autocomplete behavior that you can also use, and you can put some deny list, so you cannot fall into unwanted use cases. That's it. I think that it's pretty interesting that you can dig into the fullness of the manuals or any kind of documents. I've also created another example here. In my project, I've created a more complete, I would say, application or agent. So if I'm digging into the data, just to show you, I have like 5,000 manuals from many different platforms, so many PS2, Xbox, Mega Drive, this kind of thing. And I've done the same thing. I've indexed everything, and I don't recall the configuration here. We'll see. Yeah, it's Gemini 1.5 Pro. Search with follow-ups. Summary should not be more than 40 sentences, and we'll try to find some interesting things here. So I can ask once again with Sonic. I'm pretty sure that he will give me some interesting results. Yeah, so it's highlighting the information, and it's also providing me with the other things. So for example, here it's extracted that it was like extracted from the Sonic Unleashed document. So here, if I'm clicking there, it will get me to the PS2 manuals on the page 7, and here there is the description from the manuals from the video game. I can ask who is Dr. Eggman, for example. It would be interesting to find that. Who is Dr. Eggman? Close the other one. He's an evil scientist with an IQ of 300. If only this scale would go to 300, but anyway, that's and we find some information here from Sonic Heroes USA. So here we have the information here. Another thing that we can get is also who is member, from who are the members of Dr. Eggman family. And if you're asking a basic a large language model, you won't find that you won't find information about Gerard Robotnik, which is who is the grandfather of Dr. Eggman, and you won't find also any information about Maria. In this case, we can find that you find some information about Gerard Robotnik on the document 4, and document 4 is really Sonic Adventures, and in Sonic Adventures on the page that is that was selected, we can find some information about other characters like Maria Robotnik, who is the cousin of Dr. Eggman, and Professor Gerard Robotnik, who was the Dr. Eggman's grandfather. So this kind of content is pretty interesting because it's only located in manuals, but I can provide a good search example to get further. I can get another example for in my case, I can say, for example, on other video games, how do I survive in Mario, for example. So in my case, I have many manuals in the bucket, and everything is indexed, and it generate an answers. So yeah, the master key mechanics: you can speed up, you can jump higher, you can jump on top of enemies. That's for the basic thing, and it's also providing information about the 1-up mushroom or the extras that you can get from getting 100 coins. Here, if I'm clicking there, he will get me to the page 5 of the first Mario Bros, and it will give us information about the extra lives that we can get. Interesting fact, piranha plants, they used to live in flower pots. So the green thing might not be pipes, might be flower pots, but it really depends on the interpretation, but makes sense, but we'll see. Another follow-up question would be, what is the name of the princess? And once again, it's interesting to dig into the details of those manuals, because you will find different names. We know her from in her most common name, which is with a Peach. You find Daisy, you find other princesses, but it used to be, she used to be called also Princess Toadstool in older version of the games. So interesting to dig inside these kind of details. Also, I can get into other things like who were programming, I don't know what type of game, I would say, who was programming Resident Evil. So it was developed by Capcom. Okay. Not really confident about the fact that it was programmed by them. Anyway, we can go into another game, for example, Earthworm Jim. Yeah, it recognized a bit of the name. I know this guy. Yeah, it's David Perry. So on page 20, sorry, of the document, or Earthworm Jim, we can find that it's David Perry with the quality of the document that is missing. Here you cannot recognize David Perry, but he was able to extract some information from an old document with no information at all. If I'm doing the same thing, for example, for Riemann, I would be surprised by the fact he can dig into other French developers. Yeah, I find Olivier Didlot and Dominique Duvivier on page 1 for the Riemann 3. Here we go. Yeah, we'll see development management and the programming. Where is it? Lead gameplay programmers. They are lead programmers, Olivier Didlot and Dominique Duvivier. Another scenario that I like is to retrieve information from this old manual. So for example, if I'm typing what is the support address for, I don't know, maybe Ubisoft, for example, it will get through every manuals and it provides us with the address. So there is different address. Mainly it's this address inside the format. So if I'm looking at that, I would find some phone number, and page 3 here, yeah, Beyond Good and Avia USA, page 14. We should have like the technical support from Ubisoft, which is located at 3, Ubisoft technical support. And what about those numbers? Like it says 1, 2, 4. I will put this one. So technical support from, it was on what is it? PSP for Rocky Balboa. Okay, different game. And the number here, contact us by phone, which is like yeah, see one here. We'll see, maybe this one. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Yeah, that's this one. And there is another French-speaking one, which is like not this number. Maybe there is another part where you have this all standard mail. Very funny. I would be really surprised that someone would answer the phone. But anyway, that's to extract a lot of information from your documents that will be indexed automatically by the agent and will extend the large language model in order to generate text with the right information, the right level of information. So I think that's wrap up the final thing. So that's all, guys. That's all, folks, for this demo. And until then, we'll see what we can cover using this wonderful technology.